Hi, welcome to Driving TV and I hope you are well. In this video, I like to talk to you about saving time, money and stress when you are learning to drive. The journey of driving, it can be time consuming, it can be expensive and also it can be stressful. So I want to share with you some tips and some advice in this video which will help you how to save time, how to save money, and also hopefully it becomes a little easy for you to learn with less stress. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified, so you will be the first to watch the video. Now, for you to save time, money and stress, you need the following three things. And if you could have or do the following three things, it will help you save time, help you to save money, and also it will be less stressful for you or no stress. So what are those three things? Now they are: number one, you need to find a good instructor. Number two, you need to do your homework. And number three, you need to have some extra lessons with your friends and family. So these are the three things you need to do for you to save time, money and stress. So let's talk about those three a little bit so that you understand a little bit more. Now, finding a good instructor is one of the most important for you to save time and money on the journey of learning to drive. Why? Because a good instructor will understand what kind of person you are, and according to that, the instructor will teach you. We as human, we are all different and we all learn things in different pace. Now the instructor's job is to understand what kind of person he or she is teaching. Now one of the things that I do when I'm teaching someone is that on the first lesson I try to find out what kind of person am I teaching. Am I teaching a person who is a theorist, or am I teaching a person who is a practical? Because there is a difference and we all learn differently. A person who is a theorist will learn by understanding the subject, and a practical person will learn by doing the subject. So the person who is a theorist will need more explaining, will need more the theory side before they do a new subject. Whereas if the person is a practical person, will need some explaining and then they just need to do the subject, and as they are doing it, they will learn. So that is the instructor's job, to find out what kind of person he is teaching or she is teaching. And this is really important, and you will only get that if you get a good instructor. A good instructor's job is to find out what kind of person he or she is teaching. So first, find a good instructor who's patient and who knows how to teach, and also who has the interest of teaching. Two things I like to share. Number one, if you want to take mock test with me and you live in Southampton or maybe around Southampton, or maybe you could come to Southampton because that's where I'm based, and you want to take mock test with me, do contact me by email. I will leave the email on the description, and obviously it's here as well if you want the email. Obviously it will be recorded and it will be on the channel, and if you're happy with that to take the mock test, do contact and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you are learning and you need help on learning and passing the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. The course gives everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. It has everything a learner needs. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see and read, and if you like it, you could always join the course. So how do you find these instructors? The best way to find a good instructor is to talk to your friends, talk to your family members, and see who they've learned with and get the recommendation. Best way to find a good instructor is by recommendation through friends and through family. And if you do choose a driving instructor and you don't get along, best to change at that point. There's nothing personal when you are learning to drive. If you don't get along, you don't get along. Just find somebody who you get along, who understands you, who has the patience to teach you. This way, you will enjoy the journey of driving. Also, it will cost you less time and less stress. Secondly, homework. Now this is where many learners, they waste a lot of money and it becomes very expensive and the journey becomes long when they're learning, is because they're not doing any homework. Now when I say homework, what do I mean? What I mean is that when you are learning in the beginning, there will be many lessons which you need to learn, and some of those lessons you will find difficult for you to learn. First of all, the steering, and then there will be the clutch, and then there will be the junctions, and then the MSPSL routine. All those things you will need to learn, and as you are learning, it is best that you learn those things at home so you get the knowledge. So when you go to the lesson, you're not wasting your time on gaining knowledge because you've already achieved that at home. For example, steering is a difficult thing for many in the beginning, for them to keep the car in a straight line. If you could practice that at home and get the feel of how to do the pull and push technique, the steering, and if you could practice that at home, this will save you time and money in the lesson. Because if you find this difficult in the lesson and you are practicing and trying to learn, it will cost you more time than if you've been practicing at home. How do you practice? There is a video in this channel which I will leave a link. You could practice at home to get the pull and push technique. The clutch, if you could understand how the clutch works, if you could get the knowledge, if you could read about the clutch at home, so that when you go to the lesson, you know how the clutch works. So when your instructor is explaining to you, it becomes easy for you to understand, so that you're not wasting any time for you to understand in the lesson. So this is what I mean about doing homework. Try to learn these subjects at home. Also, when you are doing a new lesson in your driving lesson, and this was your first lesson and the lesson was a bit heavy and it was a big lesson and you couldn't do it properly in the beginning on your first lesson, best thing to do is when you come home before your next lesson, study about that lesson, learn about that lesson, gain more knowledge about that lesson. This way, when you go to your next lesson, you will have more knowledge about that subject, so that when you're learning, it becomes easy for you. Learn about roundabouts, learn about MSPSL, which is mirrors, signal, position, speed and look. Read about junctions, read about roundabouts, mini roundabouts, read about spiral roundabouts, read about all those maneuvers you will be learning in the lesson. Read about them. Most of those videos I have on my channel anyway, and the best way is to go through those videos, watch those videos and make notes and make a bullet points of those main things of those lessons, so that you memorize and you gain a lot of knowledge about those lessons. And then when you go to your next lesson with your driving instructor, the lesson becomes easy for you because you have the knowledge of that subject. So homework is very important for you to save time and money and stress. And third is taking some driving lessons with your friends and family, because with a driving instructor you will be paying for your lesson. With a friends and family, the only thing you need is an insurance, which you will be paying for. So if you have a lesson with your friend or your family member, all you need to make sure is that you are insured in the car, and the person who's sitting next to you, they are 21 years of age and also held a license for 3 years. These are the conditions. They need to be 21, they've held a driving license for 3 years, and also you are insured in the car. These are the 3 things you need to make sure when you have lessons with family. And when you have lessons with family and friends, it's not like you are learning new things. What you are doing is you are just getting used to, you are getting more practice on driving. And this will help you become more experienced. It will give you more understanding. It will give you more practice on the road, so that you will need less time on your driving lesson with your driving instructor, which is costing you money. So have as much lessons as possible with your friend and family. This will save you time, money and stress. Also, when you have lessons with the driving instructor, try not to have hourly lesson. Have minimum 2-hour lesson per lesson. So if you have 1 lesson a week, minimum 1 lesson, my advice would be to have 1 for 2 hours all in one go. Why? Because hourly lesson By the time the instructor picks you up and takes you to an area where they will teach you something new and then explain to you, and then by the time you start learning something, it's end of the lesson. So it's best to have 2 hours, because the first lesson will be explaining and starting learning, and by the time you start to learn, you have another 1 hour so that you could learn more. So it's best to have minimum 1 lesson for 2 hours per week. If you could afford to have more lessons with the driving instructor, then have 2 lessons or 3 lessons, but 2 hours each. This way you will learn more and you will get more out of the lesson if you have 2 hours per lesson. Also, you could take the advantage of my course that I created for learners. It's an online course giving you all the things or all the lessons you need for you to learn as well as to pass the test. So all the lessons that you need are there in one place in that course. There will be many lessons which are already in the channel, but what I've done is I've gathered all the lessons that you need in one place in one course, and it will also give you many extra lessons which will help you to learn and pass the test, especially the lesson on the driving test. It gives you the knowledge about the test. It shows you how the test is going to be like. So just that lesson itself is valuable to you, the price that you pay. And the price very minimum, but you will get much more in the course than the price that you pay. So you could always have a look at that and see if you like the course. Have a read. I'll leave a link in the description below, and if you like it, you could always take the course. Take the advantage of that as well to make it easy for you to save time, money and stress. Also, 2 bonus tips for you after you pass your test. After you pass your test, 2 things you can do to save money on your insurance, because after you pass, one of the main expense for you to drive is the insurance. And my advice to you is consider or think about doing Pass Plus, because if you do Pass Plus, you will learn more things which you didn't learn in a driving lesson. So the instructor who does Pass Plus for you will teach you some things that will make you a better driver, and also at the end of it you will get a certificate, and with that certificate many insurance companies reduces the insurance. Second thing to reduce the insurance is to think about the black box insurance. Now, black box insurance is an insurance where there are companies gives you a monitor to keep in your car, and what it does is when you're driving, it monitors how you drive and it monitors the speed of your car when you're driving. So because you have that box, you will be more careful how you drive and how much speed you're doing, and this way actually helps you 2 things. 1, it reduces your insurance, and number 2, it makes you a better driver. Imagine there is a box in your car and you are thinking about the box all the time, and you are driving according to the speed limit and according to the way you should be driving safely, and that becomes a habit in the long term. So my advice is best in the beginning for you to consider the black box insurance. This way it will help you to reduce your insurance, as well as it'll make you a better driver in your long term, because it becomes a habit for you to drive safely and according to the way you should be driving according to the law. And this will be the end of this lesson. I hope this video helps. If it does, please do give a thumbs up, and please do make a comment what you think of the video. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon so that every time I upload a new video, you will be notified for you to watch the video first. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you again on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.